you doing? And welcome to another video. And today we're going to be looking at tile 3. Now you're going to say, hold on, you haven't finished this tile yet. Well, it's a bit of a work in progress, but what I wanted to do was show you guys how I do certain things, because a lot of our people have been asking us how you do this, how you do that, what do you use for this, what material do you use for that. So I thought we'd look at debris, because if you look at bombed out buildings and stuff like that, debris plays a very important factor into anything where you're doing, like, you know, destroyed buildings and war torn streets and stuff like that. So today we're going to look at this. So I thought we would look at how we structure and lay out our composition for our piece. Look at all these big words I'm throwing in there. I could just say how we just throw it all together, which sounds a lot more easier and not too professional, but that's pretty much what's happened so far. It's a nice easy process, so let's have a look at some of the more detailed pieces and let's see how we've laid that out. And we'll do a little bit after the video, or after the walk around, and we'll do it around about there. Okay guys, I'll see you in a second. Hi guys, and welcome back. So when I'm putting stuff together, I always think about what parts I can use, what areas do I want to cover, what materials I want to use, and what bits and pieces fit in really well. And with anything where you've got destroyed buildings, you do want to use some of the debris that you can scatter around along the floor and stuff. Now for this I've used all sorts of materials, from tiny little bricks that I got from a German company. Unfortunately I don't have a box that hasn't been used at the moment, but they're really great. They do different sized bricks that you can use in doing your roads. It's more for scale modelling, but works really well for debris. And I always use that as a last thought, basically, because I like to get everything down first. So I generally use sand mixed with bits of debris and bits of rock and slate and stuff like that, with finer or thicker sand. Mix that all together in a big bucket, and then what I tend to do is I pour it into areas before gluing it. Now you're going to say, why don't you glue it down first? Because I generally use, and there's no kid of a lie here, oops, knocking things over, I generally use a syringe filled with PVA and water mix just over the top, squeeze it out, and it generally just soaks in. Now I leave that for a few hours and then come back and add some more to it, and generally do the same thing over and over again until I'm happy that there's enough solution in there that it looks pretty wet, that I can then sprinkle the bricks over the top. And then once that's dry, I then go back over and I squeeze it again and just add some more PVA and water solution. Now for this I'm using a very strong PVA. It's called Unibond and it's super PVA. It's really good stuff. It comes in a small 1 litre bottle, as you can see there. It's really great for everything that you need. It's an adhesive, a primer, and for bonding as well. You can get that on Amazon or any good DIY store. I don't know what it's called out in the States, but I managed to get that on Amazon with quite a few other bits and pieces. You'll also notice that I've used bits of plaster in there as well. I'm probably going to snap that bit off, to be fair, because that will get used and broken. Now this is to give me that large sort of plaster wall effect that's been broken and fallen through, and bits of old building that I had laying around that I can use just for debris and stuff like that mixed in, because as much as you put in there and detail that you add to it, the more you're going to get out of it. It's a bit of a pain in the arse to paint, but believe me, once you've got it sorted, it is beautiful. Now if we just gently stroll off around here, you'll notice that I'm using again the same sort of techniques in between with the PVA, the sand, mixed with bits and pieces. We've got these pillars here. Now these pillars I bought from Marks and Spencer's, which is here in the UK, which is like a food shop, basically, clothing and stuff like that. A bit like Tesco's, a bit like Walmart, but it's sort of like for the middle classes. And I bought off them 4 white plaster cake pillars. Now these are really cool, absolutely brilliant. I've had a few of these in the past and used them for things. They are hollow all the way through, so you have to fill them in. but they really do give a great effect for pillars. Now I've mixed these in with the secret weapon pillars, which you can find scattered around. It just gives it that sort of added filler, basically. It just gives you the sense that there were pillars there and they've been smashed up. And if we just loosen this up a bit, there you go, you can see just underneath there, again we've done the same thing. We've added some detail to that underneath as well, which just gives it that little bit more believability. It makes you think that, you know, these are actually were held up by pillars, and it looks really, really good. Now let us swing around to the other side, and if we just loosen this up a bit and scan upwards, what do we have here? Well, here we have a tank. So let's spin this around and have a closer look at what we're doing with this tank. I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, so what have we done here? So at the moment we've taken a tank, we've added in our blast areas where the shells have busted through or exploded outwards, and we've also damaged the track area, because it's kind of nice to have that area where it's gone in there, exploded, and it's blown the track out there. Now we still need to darken those areas down, we still need to weather them and play around with them. We've also, if we just pick this up as well, it's also, if we can get it to focus, we've also blown out the turret as well, so there's a lot of debris and damage there, and the same on the other side. We've got some damaged areas just to add to it. Now I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, which will be interesting if you can, but here we go. Inside we've got our little flaming areas, which just gives us that nice little effect. Now the nice thing about this is when you've got it set at a certain angle, you can actually see it glowing underneath there as well in the certain light, and it just gives us another look at our effects that we've got going on there. You can't really see it from this angle, unfortunately. You have to be a little bit lower, but anything that we can add to make this a little bit more special and add little Easter eggs in there that people go, oh my god, that's really cool, look at that down there. It makes it that much more exciting for when you're playing on the board. So we've still got quite a bit to do with that, in the sense that we've got a lot of damage to do to it. You can see like the little underneath there, you can just see it flickering away in the inside. That's kind of nice. It just gives it a really nice effect. So we've got quite a bit to do to this. It's not something that can be easily finished off straight away. We will be doing some lighting tutorials, and as you notice I've added magnets in there as well, so it always locks into place, so I know it's always there basically, and it means that they can adjust the battery, change the battery in it as well. It's not stuck down. So we'll be doing a proper look at power play gaming and looking at how we can wire stuff up to give us that beautiful effect. And now we're going to move on to laying down some debris, adding in some destructive blast areas and stuff like that from the buildings and all the stuff that comes tumbling down. And that's the nice bit about it, adding the effects. So guys, I will see you in a second. Hi guys, and welcome back. So now we're going to start looking at how we can fill this area up with debris. It just adds to our diorama for the whole piece. Each tile should have its own unique and distinctive look that separates it from everything else. Now obviously the next three tiles that we're going to be building is the gatehouse, the wall section and another wall section. So these fit on quite nicely. Now I wanted this tile to be quite sparse of buildings, because it's almost like a staging area, places where the troops can move around freely, vehicles can park up ready to be shunted out of the gates to go and fight the enemy. And plus it gives it a nice clear killing zone as well, which makes it quite exciting and quite good fun. And plus I want movement for titans. I want to see titans on this table fighting, because that's why we've got so many high buildings, so they can hide behind stuff. So it's going to be quite exciting. Okay, so let's look at our composition of this piece that we're trying to create. So again, narrative is important whenever you're dealing with anything, I feel. It should tell you a story. This building is obviously some sort of chapel, and what we've got is it's been hit quite a bit, probably through bombardments and aerial attacks, and we've got debris that will be scattered across the area. Now I always like to pile it up because it gives us that really nice look as it's all come crashing down into one area. Then we can cover it with the sand sections, then we can add to that by adding our stones and rubble over the top of it. So let's glue these down and I'll see you in a second. Welcome back. So we've got our pieces scattered across the floor. Okay, so I'm quite happy with this. It's lucky I had some bits and pieces left over, because it's always nice to have spare parts or old buildings that you've got that you can smash up that you no longer use, or parts that you've scrounged from everybody else in order to make some beautiful, beautiful pieces. Now I'm going to make a little bit of noise here as I get what I need out. So I've got here sand mixed with some rubble, and that is going to be strategically placed like so into areas like this. And what we're looking to do is basically create some sort of sense of debris. It's always good to have this sort of stuff. I need to go to the garden to get some more sand at some point because I'm starting to run out. It's more rubble than anything else at the moment, which is kind of cool. Let's fill that up in there, because when we come to put our water into this PVA mix, it's going to look awesome. Can I say that? I just did that. I do apologise. I don't know why I did it. It just happened. Okay, so this is what we've got here. I'm now going to mix some PVA water up. Now, there's no particular method to this. There's no ratios. I just kind of like a thick, watery mix. Now, that doesn't really work, or doesn't sound right, but it's enough PVA in there to soak in and seal it. That's what I'm talking about. Now, this is a bit of a trial and error with you guys. I kind of know the consistency for me. It works out. It shouldn't be milky white. Shouldn't be milky fluid. There should still be some splutter to it, but not enough, not too thick that it doesn't come out of the syringe. So I'll see you guys in a second. Welcome back, guys, and here we go. So here's my syringe. Now you can pick these up from any model shop, DIY shop, or online, or there's places called the needle clinics. You can go there and get them as well, or your doctors if you can convince them to let you have some. But these you can generally buy online. They're really good. Okay, so that sounded really bad, but you can get these anywhere. Okay, so let's sup up some of this goodness. Again, that sounds wrong. Okay, what we're going to do is we're just going to pummel it out like this. I don't know what's happening today. I'm coming out with some corkers. We're just going to squeeze it all out, let it soak in. Now you're going to have to go over it a couple more times, because what you don't want is just the top layer. It's got to hit all the way through. So don't be afraid to really get it in there, as they say, because you know there's still loads more we've got to add to this, and the more that's in there, the quicker this is going to dry as well, and it'll dry throughout, and that's what we want. So we just don't want the top layer. We really want it to soak in. Don't be afraid to leave this for a few days as well, and keep adding to it, because you will find you will need to. But you know, the process, the finished look, as you've seen before, it's really good, and you can do this just quite easily with a large syringe or a turkey baster, or you know, even those things that you can get from the cooking stores, the cook shop sort of thing, restaurant places, wholesalers. There we go. I knew I'd get there in the end. You can get loads of stuff like that. Syringes aren't too hard to come by. You can actually buy them at chemists as well. They may give you a bit of a weird look when you ask for them, but just explain what you're trying to do. And if they don't believe you, show them this video on your phone. Hopefully that will convince them. But it's a really easy thing to do. So we're just gonna, like I said, I don't care about soaking it because it will dry, and that's what we want. So we've got a nice puddle going on there. So we'll take away this. Now here comes the good bit. This is the bit I like. So I'm going to use this beautiful mix that I've made, and as you can see, there it is. It's all made up of debris, bricks of different colours, some grey sand added into it and some brown sand, and it's a really lovely mix. Now what I generally do is get a little bottle like so, I fill it up, and I just sprinkle that over the top. Now what this is doing is it's soaking up anything that's being drawn out onto the board, And also we're adding a top layer to add some more stuff to it, which is always good. And anything that doesn't stick down you can put back into the pot once it's dry. See, constantly thinking, right, you know, getting with the flow. Anyway, here we go. You can tell it's Friday. I'm very, very excited. It's the chill out. Weekend's always good. A busy week, lifting weights, enjoying it, having fun, and then the weekend's my time. Okay, so I'm just gonna squirt in some bits in there, like so, and then like that. You know, I want this to soak in. I don't care if we've got a bit of an overflow, but at the end of the day, it just makes sure that everything that we do is soaked into place. Okay guys, that's pretty much it. That's how easy this is to do. Okay, and you don't even have to have everything that I've got here. You can use your own makeup, your own debris. You can use plaster, because when it's dry I'll add plaster rubble into that. And plaster rubble's really easy to make. You can literally just paste it onto a piece of card like so, and then leave it in the sun to dry, and then just crumple it up every now and then. And that's what I tend to use, just to add to the effect. So guys, I hope that's been really useful for you. You be good, you be safe, and have a smashing weekend, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.